Hello, iBond fans. So assuming you're not holding onto your iBonds for the long term like we are, but rather you're considering redeeming your iBonds given the new inflation rate of 3.38%, what is the exact month you should be selling? That's what I'll be covering in today's video. The exact month to consider redeeming your iBonds depending on whether you bought your iBonds at the annualized rate of 7.12%, 9.62%, or 6.89%. The second topic I'll be covering is how to set your federal income tax withholding with TreasuryDirect before you redeem your iBonds so that you're not hit with a surprise bill from the IRS come tax time. Keep in mind that this exact month for redemption is based on CD rates as well as T-bill rates and the annualized iBond rate at the time of this taping, and assumes that you have some flexibility with regard to timing your redemption month. Also remember that you can redeem all or just a part of your iBond. So if you bought $10,000 of iBonds all in one go in November 2021, you don't have to redeem that entire $10,000 all at once. You can redeem any amount of $25 or more to the penny. And if you cash only part of what your iBond is worth, you must leave at least $25 in your account. And you get the interest only on the part you cash. And because I know this question will come up, no, you cannot just cash out the interest earned and leave the principal amount of your iBond in your account. Whatever amount you redeem would be comprised of a principal portion as well as the interest earned on that principal portion. For those of you who've reached out about redeeming iBonds because of debt ceiling and or other concerns, I encourage you to take a look at our latest members-only videos on these topics. Check out the video description or first comment below to learn more about Diamond NestEgg membership. Now, if you're new to iBonds and you're watching this iBond redemption video because, well, that's what you do for fun, here's a table of the must-know iBond basics. The points most relevant for this video are here and here. You have to hold iBonds for a minimum of 12 months. You cannot redeem them in the first year of purchase under almost any circumstances. And if you cash out your iBonds in the first 5 years, you will lose the last 3 months' interest as an early withdrawal penalty. Do note that you will not earn any interest in the month of redemption, regardless of whether you redeem on the first day of the month or the last day of the month. So if you're looking to maximize yield, then it may make sense to redeem earlier in the month rather than later. This means that in the first 6-month holding period, you got the annualized rate of 7.12% divided by 2. In the second 6-month holding period, you got the annualized rate of 9.62% divided by 2. And in the third 6-month holding period, you got the annualized rate of 6.48% divided by 2. In the fourth 6-month period, you'll be getting this annualized rate of 3.38% divided by 2. If this is you, consider redeeming your iBonds 3 months into this 6-month holding period so that the last 3 months of interest that you lose as your early withdrawal penalty is at this lower rate of 3.38% rather than this higher rate of 6.48%. Here's what this means if your iBonds were issued between November 1st, 2021 and April 30th, 2022. This column here shows the month when your iBonds were issued. This column here shows when your iBonds started or will start earning 3.38%, the current lower annualized rate. And this column shows when you might consider redeeming your iBonds, 3 months after this lower annualized rate period. This means that in the first 6-month holding period, you get the annualized rate of 9.62% divided by 2. And in the second 6-month holding period, you get the annualized rate of 6.48% divided by 2. And in the third 6-month holding period, you'll be getting the annualized rate of 3.38% divided by 2. As in the earlier example, consider redeeming your I-bonds 3 months into this 6-month holding period so that the last 3 months of interest that you lose as your early withdrawal penalty is at this lower rate of 3.38% rather than this higher rate of 6.48%. Here's what this means if your I-bonds were issued between May 1st, 2022 and October 31st, 2022. This column here shows the month when your I-bonds were issued. This column here shows when your I-bonds started or will start earning 3.38%, the current lower annualized rate. And this column shows when you might consider redeeming your I-bonds 3 months into this lower annualized rate period. This means that in the first 6-month holding period, you're getting the annualized rate of 6.89% divided by 2. And in the second 6-month holding period, you'll be getting the annualized rate of 3.79% divided by 2. Remember, you won't be able to redeem these I-bonds until you hit the 1-year minimum holding period. If you use the first possible opportunity and do redeem your I-bonds in month 13, you will have to pay this early withdrawal penalty. And here's what your ending balance with the early withdrawal penalty already deducted would look like, assuming an initial investment of $10,000. Still not a bad return depending on where you live, considering that you only need to pay federal income taxes on I-bond interest and not state and local income taxes. If in month 13 you find other investments, all else being equal, yielding more than this annualized rate, then redeeming in month 13 may make sense. But let's cross that bridge when we get there. For now, let's move on to how to set your federal income tax withholding with TreasuryDirect before you redeem your I-bonds so that you're not hit with a surprise bill from the IRS come tax time. If you've elected to pay taxes on your I-bond interest annually, then this section isn't so relevant for you. Most of our super savers, though, and we ourselves, elect to pay taxes on our I-bond interest at redemption, not annually, because it's just simpler to do it that way. If you want to learn more about paying I-bond taxes annually versus at redemption, then check out this video here for the pros and cons of each option. I've also linked it in the description below. Paying I-bond taxes at redemption is in fact the default option, meaning that there are no yearly tax bills and that the interest accrues tax-free in the account while we keep our I-bonds. When we do redeem, though, the full tax bill for all the accumulated interest falls due in one big lump sum. So if we don't set our federal income tax withholding at the right level in TreasuryDirect before we redeem our I-bonds, TreasuryDirect will pay us the full accumulated interest on a gross basis. No taxes will be taken out. And while we might feel rich when that happens, this feeling won't last very long because come tax time, the IRS will send us the full tax bill for our I-bond interest. So in my opinion, it's better to set an appropriate level of federal income tax withholding before I-bond redemption. You may feel less rich initially, but you will avoid unpleasant surprises when tax time rolls around. And if you ask me,
Jen, what's an appropriate withholding level for me?
I have to repeat what I always say. Everyone's financial journey is different, and that applies to tax rates in particular. But a good starting point could be to consider your marginal federal income tax rate for the withholding percentage, depending on your circumstances. Now, if you've already redeemed your I-bonds without setting your federal income tax withholding with TreasuryDirect, it's not too big of a deal so long as you're aware that you will have to pay federal income taxes on the interest earned on those redeemed I-bonds at the end of the tax year and plan accordingly for that. So, to update my tax withholding with TreasuryDirect, I first have to sign into my TreasuryDirect account. From the account summary page, I'll choose Account Info. Here's the account info screen that pops up. If I scroll down, I'll see that my current withholding rate is 0%. I'll click on Edit now. And on the next screen, I'll answer my security question and click Submit. This account info edit screen will now appear. I'll scroll down to account status, and in this withholding rate box, I'll enter the percentage I want withheld from my interest payments for taxes. I'll put in 25% as an example, and then I'll click submit. This will take me back to my original account info page. And if I scroll down now, I'll see that my withholding rate has been updated to 25%. Any future 1099 INT forms I get from TreasuryDirect after making this change will then show the amount of interest earned on my I-bonds and other Treasury securities, as well as the amount of taxes that TreasuryDirect withheld. And yes, this withholding change does impact all the securities I hold at TreasuryDirect, not just my I-bonds. All right, Super Saver, I hope you enjoyed this video and learned something new. For those of you who want to take a deeper dive into our latest members-only videos, click the join button on our channel page or check out the first comment below in this video to learn more about Diamond NestEgg membership. And if you're a Super Saver member already, then make sure you didn't miss this latest one in the Member Zone. See you again very soon with more brand new wealth building content for your financial journey.